Hi, welcome back. In this particular session, I will be talking about ex- what do you understand by database design, and then we talk about two techniques, okay, of database design itself. Okay, this video is very short and simple because more we will be talking about database design, both the approach, in down the line in all my videos itself. So here, just I want to make you understand what database design means and what are the techniques, because this is one of the most popular question that is asked during the interview. Okay, what do you understand by database, okay, design, okay, and why we should give concentrate on database design itself, why it is important, okay, and then what are the techniques that is actually used for database design itself. So having said this, so database design, when you talk about database design, okay, it is nothing but how you are organizing the data, okay, how you are trying to organize the data following some kind of data, model itself. Or we can say something like it's a process, okay, of how we can organize the data, collect the data itself, okay, then design and develop so that you can have a complete enterprise database management system itself. Okay, now please understand once that if a database is designed properly, it becomes very important for you to maintain, right? Also, it is becoming very cost effective and also improve the data consistency itself. So whatever data design that will be done, okay, in the form of conceptual, then actually you are creating the database itself in, and then you are writing certain application through which you are interacting with the data and all these things, right? So having said this, whenever you are developing an application, okay, right, database design plays a very important role. Okay, we have certain database engineers, design engineers, who will going to understand what the requirement itself, okay, understanding the requirement itself is very very important. Okay, what exactly the requirement, how the things, what exactly it is required for the application, and based on that, how the database can be designed, fine tuned, okay, so that you can get the desired, what do you say, the results at a very optimized manner and all. So in order to do so, right, the designing of the database becomes a very important aspect itself, right? So there are two techniques through which you design a database. This is one is called as a top-down approach, another is called as the bottom-up approach. The top-down approach is we call it the ER modeling, okay, and the bottom approach is called as the normalization. So ER modeling, lot of things we'll be going to discuss in the complete ER modeling itself, okay, and also in normalization, different steps, or different type of normalization also are there. So when you talk about ER model, you are actually talking about entity relationship model itself. When you talk about entity, it can be a physical thing, it can be a conceptual thing, right? So maybe like student itself is one of the entity, okay, course itself can be another entity. And when you talk about entity and relationship, we are talking about how student is associated with the course itself. Okay, if you take itself as an education institute, we have teachers, we have courses, okay, we have departments, we have students itself, right? So how they all are related, how all have the relationship, okay, right? So this is how we created, this is how a ER model stands for, right? And it is a high level model, and it is basically on the concepts of design, right? It is very easy to develop, okay, and design, okay, and then after that, how if you have a ER model, how you translate the ER model into a relational model also, it is there, right? Okay, having said this, this is ER modeling is one of the is a top down approach, because from the if you see why it is from the top down, because we are trying to understand the entities, okay, we understand the relationships, okay, and then we try to model it up, okay, and model it up. We are not thinking about and in terms of entity, we are thinking about what kind of different characteristics, and when we talk about relation, but we never think how will you going to store this particular characters? What are ways through which we're going to do that? We never think about that, right? Yes, so we are not creating that no table. In other words, you can say tables and all those things, right? Okay, so that's why it is called the top down approach. Okay, right? But in another approach we have the bottom up approach where we okay, so we already have some kind of during this what you say year model. Okay, there are certain disadvantages, like there may be certain inconsistency of data, some kind of redundancy, because duplicate data and all these things and all. Okay, so more we'll discuss when you talk about river. So the normalization is a process where you have the certain tables and all. Okay, right? We are creating the tables. Okay, all right. And you have that the entire one particular table, say for the student table. Okay, so we have that student entity in the ER model. Now we have the student table here, right? So student table, you have the relation, so student ID, the name and all these things. Okay, then we don't see that this particular table how we can refine, right? Because there will be some kind of inconsistent informations. Okay, there's some kind of duplication and all these things. So how we are going to refine that particular itself, so that our our entire design becomes more precise. Okay, and it becomes very easy for us to implement, and that process through which we try to eliminate, okay, we do to time come refinement and all these things, is called as the normalization. Okay, so having said this, so this video itself, I just want to put forward that database design plays a very important role. Okay, right? Yes, and a two type of techniques that is there is one is called the top-down approach, another is called as a bottom-up approach. When we talk about top-down approach, we are talking about ER modeling, okay, and when you talk about a bottom-up approach, we are talking about normalization. So having said that, we will go into down the level, we're going to understand more on ER modeling and more on normalization. Just you understand that here database design. When you talk about database design, so database design is something which you are organizing data, okay, according to some kind of database. So entire aspect of design is to make the database itself easy to maintain, okay, less what you say redundant data will be there, cost effective, okay, and entire will facilitate us in order to uh, maintain and implement that particular thing itself, right? So having said this, the techniques that we talked about is that is the top-down approach and the bottom-up approach. And in the top-down approach, we are called about the ER modeling, and the bottom-up approach, we are called the normalization. So whenever in the interview or now when it's asked techniques, these are the two techniques: top-down approach, bottom-up approach. What are the ER modeling and what are normalization? Then we can ask what is ER modeling, what is normalization, and all these things, right? So techniques, top-down and bottom-up. Top-down ER modeling and bottom-up is the normalization. Okay, so thank you so much. So we'll see all this ER modeling and normalization in my upcoming videos itself. Okay, so please, if you find my video very interesting, please try to share and subscribe my videos. Thank you so much.